Good day, everyone. We are the group who will discuss the Chapter 6 Business Strategy, Differentiation, Cost Leadership, and Integration. Ms. Vergara will be the reporter of 6.1 Business Level Strategy, and next is Ms. Ibanez for Differentiation Strategy, Understanding Value Drivers, and Ms. Nobleza, the reporter of 6.3 Cost Leadership Strategy. Next is Ms. Fiel for the 6.4 Business Level Strategy and 5 Forces, Benefits, and Risks, and Ms. Maroliano for the 6.5 Integration Strategy, Combining Cost Leadership and Differentiation, and lastly, Ms. Vergara for the 6.6 Dynamics of Competitive Positioning. Chapter K6 PNG Strategic Position Weakness. With revenues of $85 billion and business in over 180 countries, Procter & Gamble is a global leader in consumer goods. Before we get into the meat of this chapter, let me explain why P&G's strategic position is deteriorating. Procter & Gamble is a global consumer goods company. Ivory soap, Tide detergent, lamb's meat, pet food, and Pampers diapers are among P&G's well-known brands. Since its $57 billion acquisition of Gillette in 2005, the company's strategic position has weakened. P&G's well-known brands include as a result of a well-thought-out and well-executed business strategy. P&G was particularly hard hit by the decline in U.S. demand because the domestic market accounts for roughly one-third of sales but nearly two-thirds of profits. The company pursues a differentiation strategy and attempts to create higher perceived value for its customers than its competitors by delivering products with unique features and attributes. Creating higher perceived value generally goes along with higher product costs due to greater R&D and promotion expenses, among the other things. Successful differentiators, however, are able to command a premium price for their products. Also, the Procter & Gamble company applies its generic strategy to achieve competitive advantage in the consumer goods industry. Michael Porter's model for generic competitiveness strategies focuses on business approaches that lead to competitiveness and resilience amid competition. In the case of Procter & Gamble's generic strategy, the emphasis is on product quality and value. These factors are significant in supporting P&G's effort to achieve and maintain a leadership position in the consumer goods industry. It is worth noting that quality and value are also included as major points in Procter & Gamble's vision statement and mission statement. Moreover, the company applies intensive growth strategies alongside its generic strategy. These Gamble's growth in terms of market performance. Considering the tough competition in the consumer goods market, it is essential that these intensive growth strategies are effective and relevant to the current market condition affecting Procter and Gamble. In the summer of 2009, after 30 years with P&G, Robert McDonald was appointed CEO. Since then, P&G's strategic position as we can consider roughly and profit has declined for three straight years. P&G also lost market share in key product country combination including beauty in the US and oral care in China. Some of today's problems are the result of P&G $57 billion acquisition of Gillette in 2005, engineered by then CEO A.G. Lafley. Although Gillette holds two-thirds market share of the $15 billion shaving industry, future incremental revenue growth for the entire company is now harder for achieve given P&G larger base. Even more concerning is the fact that Mr. Lafley concentrated P&G effort primarily on the U.S. market. Instead of creating new product categories, P&G enhanced existing ones such as Olay's Extra Moisturizing Lotions and Charmin's Ultra Soft and Sensitive Toilet Paper. The strategic decision to focus on the domestic market and to incrementally add more features to its existing products created two serious problems for P&G. First, with the deep recession of 2008 to 2009, U.S. consumers moved away from higher price. Furthermore, P&G direct competitors in the branded products industry, such as Colgate-Palmolive, Kimberly-Clark, and Unilever, were quicker to slash costs and prices in response to more thrifty customers. P&G has batched recent introduction of modified products including Tide Pads, single-use detergent pouches, and Pantene. Second, by focusing on the U.S. market. P&G not only missed out on the booming growth years that the emerging economies experienced, but it also left this market to its rivals. As a consequence, Colgate-Palmolive, Kimberly-Clark, and Unilever all outperformed P&G in recent years. To strengthen its competitive position, Mr. McDonald launched two strategic initiatives. First, P&G began to refocus its portfolio on the company's 40 most lucrative product market combinations, which are responsible for about half of P&G's revenues but almost 70% of its profits. Part of this initiative was to expand P&G presence in large emerging economies. Recently, P&G launched Tide in India and Pantene shampoos in Brazil. Moreover, P&G began to leverage its Crest brand globally to take on Colgate-Palmolive's global dominance in toothpaste. Second, P&G implemented strict cost-cutting measures through eliminating all spending not directly related to selling. The expectation was that these two projects would complement one of the P&G's strategic position will be strengthened by strengthening its differentiated appeal in order to command premium prices while reducing its cost structure. The company boards of directors brought back A.G. Lafley as CEO to replace Mr. McDonald. It remains to be seen if Mr. Lafley can turn around P&G because some of the strategic decisions that led to weakening of P&G were taken during his tenure.
Business level strategy is how business works when it comes to reaching their goal. This type of strategy can be used when competing with other companies or organizations. Having a good and detailed strategy to reach the goal of one group is an advantage to other competitors. Some companies are having a strategy to exceed the expectations of the market towards their product, especially when they have a similar product that is also promoted by other companies. It's good to have a good strategy because it will help the company to reach their goal or to win against their competitor. Having a strategy is an advantage when it comes to competing with other organizations. A business level strategy means gathering information about the product of the competitor so that they can have a lot of plans to make for their product to become more successful than the other. Which customer segments will we serve? This question will come to your mind when you are thinking about the customers. In such instances, the leader of an organization think about what they should take into account for customers. They should also think about who will buy or enjoy their product. Should a product be available to anyone regardless of age or gender of a person? It is also good if a product to be made in relevant and usable. That's what a company should be prepared for if they really want the market to enjoy their product. What customer needs, wishes, and desires will we satisfy? The simplest way to boost earnings and sell more in items and services in marketing is to satisfy customer demands and wants. In marketing, desire is defined as identifying what a customer desires and requires. Marketing techniques aim to meet a variety of needs in order to persuade customers to purchase a product. Several demands are frequently met at the same time to increase client satisfaction. The following example of customers' needs demonstrate what buyers want and what marketing techniques should focus on. Why do we want to satisfy them? Customer satisfaction should be regarded as a critical component of every business since it offers marketers and business owners with the metrics to measure and enhance business performance from the perspective of customers. It's not just a good approach to predict clients' repurchase intention and loyalty, but it's also a good way to figure out whether they'll be a long-term repeat customers or even advocates. On the other side, it can provide early warning indicators that the customer is dissatisfied and on the verge of leaving. With all of this in mind, customer satisfaction may give organizations critical information about which components are effective and which areas want development. How will we satisfy our customers' needs? You must uphold your beliefs and keep your promises in order to satisfy your customers' requirements. Honestly, transparency, and civility are the greatest policy when it comes to addressing customer needs. If you are concerned about the environment, for example, it's critical for your company to connect words with action. Listening to your customers is an important part of getting to know them. Pay attention to what they have to say, whether it's good or bad. The feedbacks you receive from your consumers have a plethora of information that will assist you in improving their customer experience. Also, it may appear that being criticized is determined to your business. When viewed in a different light, it may be viewed as an opportunity. The 5 forces framework, as well as the availability of complements, can be used to assess an industry's profit potential. Managers must ensure that their business plan is in line with the 5 competitive factors. A strategic group study can be used to assess performance variation among clusters of enterprises in the same industry. It's also worth noting that industry and firms' effects are not mutually exclusive but rather interrelated. Effective business strategies are the decisions you make with specific target clients that allows you to build your company efficiently. Most businesses have objectives, plans, or ambitions for how to succeed, but few have a strategy in place to attain those goals. The firm's strategic posture is as follows. Consumers did not value new added features and reformulations as much as lower pricing. Hence, the company's value position relative to competitors has recently dropped. Strategic position. The business level strategy of a company sets its strategic position and profile in a given product market based on value creation and cost. A company tries to carve out a valued and distinct position that matches customer needs while simultaneously widening the gap between the value created by its product and cost it produces. Higher value usually comes at higher price. Managers must make strategic trade-offs between the cost and the value position to attain a desired strategic position. Manager must resolve the conflict between value creation and the demand to keep costs low so that the firm's economic value creation and profit margin are not eroded. A strategic position is a generic competitive strategy that a company chooses between on its own capabilities and in a reaction to the position taken by competitors in that industry. The company also decided which clients to serve and how much they are ready to spend. Generic business strategies. These decisions result in 4 generic business level strategies. Number 1, cost leader. Number 2, differentiation. Number 3, focused cost leader. And number 4, focused differentiation. In a few rare circumstances, businesses are able to provide both inexpensive cost and unique characteristics that customers want. A cost leadership strategy, on the other hand, aims to provide customers with the same or equal value by delivering products or services at a lower cost than competitors, allowing the company to offer cheaper rates. These two methods are known as generic strategies because they can be utilized by any entity, large or little, for profit or charity, public or private, that manufactures or provides services to boost a firm's chances of gaining and maintaining a competitive advantage. Differentiation and cost leadership necessitate distinct strategic stances because value creation and cost are often strongly associated. There are significant trade-offs between high value and low cost. Now we are continuing the aspects of difference versus cost, as well as narrow versus broad scope of competition to describe a firm's strategic stance. The focused cost leadership strategy and the focused differentiation strategy are sustainability the same as the wide generic strategies, with the exception that the competitive scopes is limited. These are the four sections of the competitive scope. Cost leadership strategy. Companies who want to obtain a competitive edge by being the lowest cost produced of services, production, process, or commodity use cost leadership as a business strategy. Number 2, differentiation strategy. Generic business approach that aims to provide customers with greater value than competitors by supplying products or services with distinctive characteristics while maintaining or lowering the firm's cost structure. Focused cost leadership. To target a small market, a focused cost leadership approach necessitates price competition. This technique does not guarantee that the company will have the lowest prices in the industry. Instead, it gives low cost in comparison to other companies in the target market. Number 4, focused differentiation. A focused differentiation approach necessitates the company offering distinctive qualities to a product or service, as well as meeting the needs of a specific or narrow market.
I am Mary Jane Ibanez, the next reporter. I will discuss the 6.2 differentiation strategy. But before proceeding to 6.2, I will first discuss how the Whole Foods market uses differentiation strategy to have a superior performance. In this case, we'll discuss the changes Whole Foods has made to their company in an attempt to remain in the top of their industry. Whole Foods' success originally came from offering top quality foods obtained through sustainable agriculture. However, their struggle partially comes from attempting to combine two different business strategies at the same time: a cost leadership strategy focused on low cost and the differentiation strategy focused on delivering unique features and services. The four young entrepreneurs who opened a small natural food store in Austin is John Mackey, Renee Lawson Hardy, Craig Weller, and Mark Skiles. Their small natural food store in Austin called Whole Foods turned into an international supermarket chain with stores in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. As of 2012, Whole Foods has 350 stores, employs more than 72,000 people, and earned $12 billion in revenue. But now, the most recent number of their stores is 500 plus in the US and UK. Second, its mission is to offer the finest natural and organic foods available. Whole Foods sets themselves apart from the competition by providing high-quality food sourced from sustainable agriculture. That was the strategy of Whole Foods. They are focused on improving the perceived value generated for customers, allowing it to charge a premium price. Third, because the items of Whole Foods have a premium price, it results in increased expenditures for the company because such items necessitate more expensive in-store displays and more highly experienced staff, and many fresh items are perishable and require frequent turnover. Fourth, so during 2008, the economic boom of Whole Foods meant the expansion and peak pace of the business cycle. However, in the same year 2008 to 2009, consumers became more budget conscious. The financial performance of the company has deteriorated because almost every retail chain sells organic food. The level of competition has risen significantly. In addition, year 2015, Whole Foods tarnished due to a mislabeling scandal where the weights of certain products were labeled incorrectly, leading to extra charges of $15 per item. To this day, the scandal still appears to be a struggle for Whole Foods. Whole Foods profits declined 22% from a year ago to $120 million. Overall sales rose 2% to $3.7 billion, which was a record for the quarter, but still a far cry from the company's double-digit sales growth. Next is, to remain differentiated in the face of competitors selling organic foods, Mackay decided to trim fat in two ways. The first is to refocus on its mission to offer healthy food. The Whole Foods offering had included a bunch of junk and candies. Mackay is dedicated to assisting U.S. consumers in overcoming obesity in order to lower the risk of heart disease and diabetes. Given this, Whole Foods' new strategic goal is to become a champion of healthy living, not just by providing natural and organic food options, but also by teaching customers through its new healthy eating initiative. Customers can learn about genetic engineering, organic foods, pesticides, and sustainable agriculture at Whole Foods markets, called Take Action Centers, which are located in every shop. Second, reducing costs by offering volume discounts, expanding its private label product line at lower prices, and launching a new store format, 365 by Whole Foods Market, based on its 365 everyday value, private label. These stores focus on the discount private label to compete with competitors. However, the problem with this strategic initiative is it will only take away demand for higher-end products at Whole Foods rather than take business away from their competitor. I think each of these strategies have the potential to be good. It seems that Whole Foods should remain more focused on a single business strategy rather than taking on more than one at a time. Next is, Whole Foods is now again experiencing superior performance in comparison to old-line grocery stores such as Kroger, Safeway, and even Walmart. Walter Rowe, Whole Foods co-CEO, emphasizes how cost-cutting allows the company to keep its profit margin while lowering costs to attract new customers. Some people say that the products are still expensive, but it's less true than it used to be. Whole Foods believe that if we can get over the pricing issue, then they can talk about what we really want to talk about, which is the food's quality. And the last is, Kroger is the biggest threat that appears, and there's a point that Kroger grossed $16 billion in organic and natural foods in the past year compared to Whole Foods, $15.8 billion, but still managed the Whole Foods to experience superior performance. Whole Foods can increase the value gap by improving its differentiated appeal to command premium prices while still keeping its cost structure under control with a more clearly defined well-defined business strategy. So, in order to obtain a competitive edge in the industry, some potential alternatives for Whole Foods market as follows. First, create a membership club to increase profits. This would be good because they would have a steady annual revenue and can offer benefits of membership to keep people coming in. If they made it optional instead of mandatory, they could really stand out from the competition. Second, develop a focused differentiation strategy. In doing this, they may be able to focus on other aspects of the business by delivering products or services with unique features. For example, they could focus on developing their vegan section more. Many grocery stores don't have vegan items, but Whole Foods actually has a rather large section of vegan products. And third is develop a focused cost leadership strategy. This would be very beneficial for Whole Foods because they would be delivering products or services at a lower cost. This would save them a lot of money. However, the downside is that the products they would be offering wouldn't be the best of quality. Now let's proceed to differentiation strategy, understanding value drivers. In an ideal world, a company that uses a differentiation strategy attempts to reach a degree of value creation in the minds of customers that its competitors can't equal. In a differentiation strategy, the focus of competition is usually on distinctive product features, service, and new product launches, or marketing and promotion rather than pricing. A company that uses a differentiation strategy can achieve a competitive advantage as long as its economic value created is greater than that of its competitors. As you can see, Panel A in Exhibit 6.3 shows that Firm B, a differentiator, achieves a competitive advantage over Firm A. Firm B not only offers greater value than Firm A, but also achieves cost parity, meaning it has the same cost as Firm A. However, even if Firm B fails to achieve cost parity, which is often the case since higher value tends to go along with higher cost in terms of higher quality raw materials, research and development, employment training to provide superior customer service, and so on. It can still gain a competitive advantage even its economic value creation exceeds that of its competitors. This situation is depicted in Panel B of Exhibit 6.3. In both situations, Firm B's economic value creation is greater than that of Firm A. Firm B therefore achieves a competitive advantage because it has a higher value gap, which allows it to charge a premium price reflecting its higher value creation. Although increased value creation is a defining feature of a differentiation strategy, managers must also control costs. If a company's cost climbs too high in an attempt to increase customer perceived value, the value gap narrows, negating any differentiating advantage. Like what happened to Whole Foods, it lost its competitive advantage mostly due to a lack of efficient cost control. Differentiation strategy is generally associated with premium pricing. When a company can provide a differentiated product or service while also controlling costs, it might gain market share from competitors by charging a similar price but providing more perceived value. By using its distinct appeal of outstanding customer service and quality, the company may differentiate itself from the competition. The best example is the Marriott Hotel. Marriott offers a line of different hotels. Its flagship Marriott full-service business hotel equipped to host large conferences, Residence Inn for extended stay, Marriott Courtyard for business travelers, and Marriott Fairfield Inn for inexpensive leisure and family travel. Although the prices of these hotels are fairly equivalent to those of competitors, they have a greater perceived value that means they meet the customer's needs and expectations. That is the reason Marriott is able to acquire market share and achieve superior results because of the price-value gap. So here are the most important value drivers that managers have. Applying the concept introduced in this chapter should allow managers to identify other important value and cost drivers unique to their business. Product features, customer service, and complements. These value drivers are related to a firm's expertise in and organization of different internal value chain activities. First is products features. Adding unique product features allows firms to turn commodity products into differentiated products commanding a premium price. So the example is the luxury car BMW. BMW has a strong reputation for superior engineering built through decades of continued R&D or research and development investments. As a result, a BMW M3 comes with many more performance features than regular sedans. The high performance capabilities of an M3 also come with a premium price. It's ranging 9 to 10 million in peso. Next is OXO. OXO is an American manufacturer of kitchen utensils, office supplies, and housewares. They also follow the differentiation strategy, highlighting product features, and they believe in their philosophy of making products that are easy to use for the widest spectrum of possible users. They differentiate their utensils through its patent-protected, ergonomically designed soft black rubber grips. Second is customer service. Managers can increase the perceived value of their firm's product or service offerings by focusing on customer service and responsiveness. For example, Zappos. Zappos, an online retailer based in Las Vegas, Nevada, United States. Zappos earned a reputation for superior customer service by offering free shipping both ways to the customer and for returns. Zappos managers didn't view this as an additional expense but rather as part of their marketing budget. Instead, they are urged to develop a trusting relationship with them. Each and every customer, as word traveled across the internet buying community, it appeared that there was a solid return on investment. That is one of the reasons why Amazon bought over $1 billion for Zappos, because Amazon recognized the uniqueness of Zappos culture. Next is, we are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. That is the mission of Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company. The Ritz-Carlton is one of the world's leading providers of a tailored customer experience based on advanced analysis of data obtained about each guest. The Ritz-Carlton amplifies the opulence of travel with breathtaking properties, fine dining, and unique guest experiences. It offers personalized customer service that few hotel chains can match. Third is complements. Finding complements is a critical effort for managers in their quest to improve the value of their goods. Better sales and better customer relations is one of the advantages of complements. Complementary products that cannot be used without each other are known to have a strong relationship. In other words, when the price goes up on one, the demand goes down for other products. AT&T Uverse is a recent example of managers leveraging complements to increase the perceived value of a service offering. The Uverse service from AT&T combines high-speed internet, phone, and television services. DVR capabilities, which allow customers to post live TV, record up to 4 live TV shows at once, and watch video on demand, can be added to service packages. A DVR isn't particularly valuable on its own, but when it's offered as a free add-on to customers, it becomes a great supplement that significantly raises the perceived value of the service bundle. AT&T was able to break into the highly competitive television services industry by leveraging complementary goods, significantly increasing the value of its service offerings. So, by choosing the differentiation strategy as the strategic position for a product, managers focus their attention on adding value to the product through its unique features that respond to client preferences, customer service before, during, and after the sale, or a successful marketing effort that communicates the worth of the product's features to the target market. Although this positioning involves increased costs because it also involves high-quality inputs or innovative research and development activities. But customers are still willing to pay a premium price to products and services that meets their needs and preferences.
Cost leadership strategy, understanding cost drivers. The goal of cost leadership strategy is to reduce the firm's cost below that of its competitors while offering adequate value. The cost leader, as the name implies, focuses its attention and resources in reducing the cost to manufacture a product or deliver service in order to offer lower price to its customers. The cost leader optimizes all of its value chain activities to achieve a low cost position. Although taking out the lowest cost position in the industry is the overriding strategic objective, a cost leader still needs to offer products and services of acceptable value. A cost leader can achieve a competitive advantage as long as its economic value is greater than that of its competitors. Panel A in Exhibit 6.4 shows that Firm B, a cost leader, achieves a competitive advantage over Firm A because Firm B not only has lower cost than Firm A but also achieves differentiation parity, meaning it creates the same value as Firm A. Thus, Firm B economic value creation is greater than that of Firm A. But if Firm B fails to create differentiation parity, such parity is often hard to achieve because value creation tends to go along with higher cost, and Firm B strategy is aimed at lower cost. Firm B can still gain a competitive advantage as long as its economic value creation exceeds that of its competitors. This situation is depicted in Panel B. Even with lower value, no differentiation parity but lower cost, Firm B economic value creation still is greater than that of Firm A. In both situations, Firm B economic value creation is greater than that of Firm A. Firm B achieves a competitive advantage in both cases. Either it can change prices similar to its competitor and benefit from a greater profit margin per unit, or it can change lower prices than its competition and gain higher profits from higher volume. Both variations of a cost leadership strategy can result in competitive advantage. Some of the unique cost drivers that manager can manipulate are cost of input factors, economies of scales, and learning and experience curve effects. First, cost of input factors. One of the most basic advantage a firm can have over its rival is access to lower cost input factors such as raw materials, capital, labor, and IT service. Second, economies of scale is defined as reduction in average cost of the production by increasing the size of the output being produced. So as firms make bigger and bigger quantities out and they change all the factors of production that are being used to produce the products, they can anticipate lower average cost. Of course, the total cost arise the per unit of output or unit cost will fall, and that's because of economies of scale. So now let us know what causes per unit cost to drop as output increases. Economies of scale allow firms to spread their fixed costs over a large output. Firms with higher output can spread their fixed costs across a greater number of units. As a result, gains in market share are frequently used to drive down per unit cost. Second, employ specialized system and equipment. Increased output also enables business to invest in more specialized systems and equipment such as enterprise resource planning or ERP software or manufacturing robots. Third, take advantage of certain physical properties. Certain physical properties also contribute to economies of scale. The cube-square rule is one such property. The volume of a body, such as pipe or tank, increases disproportionately more than its surface. This same principle makes big box retail stores like Walmart, Best Buy, Home Depot, and toy are less expensive to build and operate. Let's examine Exhibit 6.5. In order to be cost competitive, the output range in the figures between Q1 and Q2 is considered the minimum efficient scale, or MES. What is MES? MES is defined as output range needed to bring down the cost per unit as much as possible, allowing a firm to stake out the lowest cost position that is achievable through economies of scale. Now, let's proceed to the topic earlier. The return scales are constant between Q1 and Q2. It is the output range required to reduce the cost per unit as much as possible, allowing a company to secure the lowest cost position possible through economies of scale. If the firm's output range is less than or greater than Q1, the company is at cost disadvantage. However, the benefits of scale cannot be sustained indefinitely. Bigger isn't always better. In fact, bigger is always first. Beyond Q2, in Exhibit 6.1, firms experience these economies of scale. Increases in cost of output increase. Why? Because when a company grows too large, the complexity of managing and coordinating it raises the cost, canceling out any benefits of scale. Large corporations have a tendency to become overly bureaucratic with too many layers of hierarchy. They become rigid and slow to make decisions. Gore Associates, the maker of Gore-Tex fabric, Glide dental floss, and many other innovative products, divides its company into a smaller units to avoid problem associate with diseconomies of scale. Learning curve. Learning by doing can also help to reduce cost. Individuals and teams learn from their cumulative experience when they repeatedly engage in an activity, whether it is writing computer code, developing new medicines, or building submarines. As the United States wrapped up production in the 1930s, prior to its entry into World War II, learning curves were first documented in aircraft manufacturing. Every time production was doubled, the per unit cost dropped at a predictable and constant rate, approximately 20%. This important relationship is depicted in Exhibit 6.6, where different colors represent different levels of learning curves: 90% for blue, 80% for green, and 70% for red and brown. As you learn, you move down the learning curve. The steeper the learning curve, the greater the amount of learning that occurs. A 90% learning curve, for example, indicates that when output is doubled, the per unit cost decreases by 10%. A 70% learning curve indicates a 30% drop every time output is doubled. There are a few key distinctions between economies of scale and learning effects. As output accumulates, learning effects occur over time, while economies of scale occurred are recorded at a single point in time when output is increased. Although learning declines at some point, as shown in Exhibit 6.6, learning curves flatten out. There are no learning diseconomies, unlike scale diseconomies as shown in Exhibit 6.5 past output UNFO. Effects from economies of scale can be quite significant in some production processes. For example, a simple one-step process in the manufacture of steel rods, while learning effects are minimal. In contrast, in some professions such as brain surgery or estate law, learning effects can be significant while economies of scale are minimal. Managers must comprehend this subtle but critical distinction in order to calibrate their business level strategy. For example, if a firm's cost advantage is due to economies of scale, a manager should be more concerned with drops in production runs rather than employees turnover, and thus a potential loss in learning. Managers should be much more concerned if a key employee, example, a star researcher at a pharmaceutical company, leaves if the firm low cost position is based on complex learning. Experience curve. An experience curve is a concept that attempts to capture both learning effects and process improvements. In this view, learning economists allow for movement down a given learning curve based on current production technology. Moving down a specific learning path, a company can gain a competitive advantage if it has a lower learning curve than its competitors. Exhibit 6.6, for example, shows that firm B is further down the blue, 90% learning curve than firm A, allowing firm B to gain an advantage over firm A by leveraging economies of learning due to a higher cumulative output. However, as we all know, technology and manufacturing processes do not remain constant. Process innovation, defined as a new method or technology for producing an existing product, may result in a steeper learning curve. If firm C is successful in implementing a new manufacturing process, such as lean manufacturing, it begins an entirely new and steeper learning curve. Firm C in Exhibit 6.6 is able to gain a competitive advantage over Firm B through process innovation. This allows Firm C to move down to the green 80% learning curve, reflecting the introduction of a new and lower cost production process as shown in Exhibit 6.6. Firm D is breaking away from Firm C and gaining a competitive advantage by capturing experience curve effects, learning effects plus process innovation. Firm D can implement a cost-cutting strategy and gain a competitive advantage over firms A, B, and C. Learning by doing allows a company to lower its per unit cost by moving down a given learning curve, while combining experience-based learning and process innovations allow the company to leapfrog to a steeper learning curve, lowering its per unit cost even further.
Hello everyone, I am Hani Jinfiel, the next reporter about business level strategies, cost leadership, and differentiation strategies. A business level strategy definition can be summarized as a detailed outline which incorporates a company's policies, goals, and actions, with the focus on being how to deliver value to customer while maintaining a competitive advantage. I believe if you build it, they will come. Doesn't necessarily ring true anymore when you're just a fish in a big competitive ocean. To get an edge over your competition, a business level strategy is needed for long-term success. There are many types of business level strategies, too many to count. Here, we'll take you through the 5 main strategies so you can weigh up which is best for you or even discover if you've been using the right one. Putly simple, business level strategies address the question of how a business aims to compete in its particular industry. In other words, it's how a business differentiates itself from its competitors. There are so many ways a business can stand out from crowd and different business strategies that one could use. The trick lies in finding the right strategy for your business. What are business level strategies? First, cost leadership, competing with a wide range of business based on price. Second, differentiation, competing by using a product or service with entirely unique features. Third, focus differentiation, not only competing through differentiation, uniqueness and product or service, but also by selecting a small portion of the market to focus on. And last, focus low cost, competing not only through price but also selecting a small portion of the market to focus on. Next, integrated low cost, differentiation, competing by using both low cost and differentiation. Next, cost leadership. What is cost leadership? Cost leadership is a term used when a company projects itself as the cheapest manufacturer or provider of a particular product or commodity in a competition. It is difficult to deploy the strategy because the management must constantly work on reducing costs at very level to remain competitive. How is cost leadership applied to business? A business could lower the final cost of their product or service by cutting costs elsewhere in the business. For example, by having small production costs, buying a large scale, for example, few middlemen, few employees, etc. Such business can offer the same level of quality products or services compared to their competition. This allows them to offer the very same thing for a smaller buck. It may not be the best idea for mom and pop store or small chains for elite brands such as Gucci or Apple. Let's go on to advantages of cost leadership. Cost leadership increases profits by gaining more business. Market domination over time unless your competitors are willing to undercut and go into the minus. It will become impossible for competitors to survive, allowing for market domination over time. Improves business stability. When a trade war occurs or downturn in the economy, companies with the lowest price and cost survive. And the risk of cost leadership is required a large scale of volume for success. It's most successful when a large volume of scale is reached. To maintain profitability requires capital that may not be available, must be able to achieve large scales volumes while scaling before running out of money. If the business is unable to reach stability before depleting capital reserves, then they could find themselves feeling bankruptcy. This is why taking a line of credit or business loans is a good idea for small businesses to keep cash flowing and allow for expansion. Could cause cuts in areas that harm the business. This strategy is all about cutting costs and corners, which could mean cutting costs in critical areas such as customer support and reducing product innovation. And next is about differentiation strategy. A differentiation strategy focuses on providing a product or service that is perceived as being unique and hard to replicate. Buyers won't find anything like your product or service in market, allowing you to charge a premium. A focus strategy looks at serving a specific target market better than anyone else in this industry. By acquiring a deep understanding of your specific customer, you'll be able to serve your customers more effectively and efficiently than the competitors who are working across the industry. What is differentiation strategy? A differentiation strategy is an approach business developed by providing customer with something unique, different, and distinct from items their competitors may offer in the marketplace. The main objective of implementing a differentiation strategy is to increase competitive advantage. A business will usually accomplish this by analyzing its strengths and weaknesses, the needs of its customer, and the overall value it can provide. There are two main types of differentiation strategies that a business may carry out: a broad differentiation strategy and a focused differentiation strategy. Let's go on to benefits of creating a differentiation strategy. 1. Reduce price competition. Differentiation strategy allows a company to compete in the market with something other than lower prices. 2. Unique products. This benefit of a differentiation strategy is that it builds on the unique qualities of a product. Your company may create a list of characteristics its products contain that your competitors lack. 3. Better profit margins. When products are differentiated and turned into higher quality products, it offers more opportunity for larger profit margins. 4. Customer brand loyalty. Effective differentiation may create brand loyalty in customers if a business maintains the perceived quality of your products. 5. A perceived substitutes. A strategy that successfully differentiates may present the idea that there is no other product available on the market to substitute with it. A business may gain an advantage in market even when there are similar products available because customers will not be willing to replace your product with another one. Let's have a look at the advantages of differentiation strategy. Lower price competition. It's common to see companies engage in price wars with competitors. However, by differentiating your product or service, you can compete on grounds other than price. And the big risk when using a differentiation strategy is that customers will not be willing to pay extra to obtain the unique features that a firm is trying to build its strategy around. In 2007, department store Dillard's stopped carrying men's sportswear made by Nautica because the seafaring team of Nautica's brand had lost much of its catch among many men. Because Nautica's uniqueness had eroded, Dillard's believed that space in its stores that Nautica had been occupying could be better allocated to other brands. In some cases, customers may simply prefer a cheaper alternative. For example, products that imitate the look and feel of offerings from Ray-Ban, Tommy Bahama, and Coach are attractive to many value-conscious customers. Firms such as this must work hard at product development and marketing to ensure that enough customers are willing to pay a premium for their goods rather than the settling for knockoffs.
Good day everyone, my name is Juliet Maruliano and I am going to report the integration strategy combining cost leadership and differentiation. A successful integration strategy requires the trade-offs between differentiation and low cost are reconciled. This is often difficult because differentiation and low cost are distinct strategic positions that requires the firm to effectively manage internal value chain activities that are fundamentally different from one another. So that integration strategy is a strategy that important in the business. This use us to compete in the business firms and this can help them consolidate and expand their place in the market increase their competitiveness. Integration strategies are processes that companies can use to improve their competitiveness, efficiency, or market share by expanding their influences into new areas. Integration strategy is a strategy that combines the two different strategic positions, the differentiation and cost leader. It's like having a high quality with a low price or cost. Two different strategic positions, cost leader, focus research and development on the process technologies in order to improve efficiency. Low cost is strategy that want to compete for broad customers and based on price. It is like lower price in the market with a higher advantage to sale. For example, success may require lowering costs in order to compete with firms in countries with lower labor cost and may require adding special features to respond to local customer preferences in individual country markets. This to attach customers adding an attract or exact with the customer's wants and needs.
Differentiator.
Focus research and development on product technologies in order to add uniqueness.
Differentiation.
This strategy that wants a customer based on their uniqueness, and it ensures you are different from your competitors' unique like luxury experience. So that in a low cost focus on efficiency and in differentiation focus on uniqueness. And the consequences of the integration strategy gone bad if happens that there no clear differentiation and nor a clear cost leadership, it will end up stuck in the middle. So let's discuss it later. Before that, let's move on the example of differentiation, integrator, and cost leader. In the Exhibit 6.9, targets attempt at achieving competitive advantage by pursuing an integration strategy. So that you can see that Target using integration strategy and Nordstrom using differentiation and Walmart using the cost leader. An organization can be successful using any strategy. You need to choose the right strategy for your organization. In this Exhibit 6.9, target attempt at achieving competitive advantage by pursuing an integration strategy. As you can see, the differentiation is one of the have a high value and high cost because they're pursuing differentiation strategy by focusing on a superior customer experience in a luxury department store setting. However, Target has been able to compete against Nordstrom by using integrators and offering shopping experience when compared with Nordstrom. Target is one of the famous department store and it is the eighth largest retailer in the United States. They effectively compete against its Nordstrom and Walmart by using cost leader with a high value and low cost. Target almost achieves cost parity with Walmart. At the same time, Target outdoes Walmart in product selection, merchandising, and store layout so that its store offer a higher quality shopping experience for the customer. Integration that has been successfully implemented. Firms have two price alternatives under this strategy. For starters, the company can demand a higher price than the competition. The low-cost leader indicating its better worth is a result of which more profit is generated. Second, the company can reduce its price because of its lower value than the differentiator construction with a lesser cost. If the company provides a lesser price, it can win market share by charging lower pricing than the differentiator. Value and cost drivers of integration strategy. For an integration strategy to succeed, managers must resolve trade-offs between the two: generic strategic position, low cost, and differentiation. In integration strategy, there are some challenges need to overcome to succeed a strategy. These are quality, economies of scope, innovation, and the firm structure, culture, and routines. These are hard to overcome because in integration, they need to increase perceived value and lower cost. For example, process innovation such as lean manufacturing contribute to better quality and customer service, which reinforce one another and enhance the brand of a product or service. We'll go through the most important points here. Manager can leverage value and cost factors to implement an integration strategy. Quality. The quality of a product denotes its durability and reliability. Quality not only can increase a product's perceived value but also can lower its cost. Quality has a big role in a manager looking for strategy. It helps the business make a quality that has a high value and has a low cost. If their techniques and quality management, company design and build products with quality. Economies of scope. The concept of economies of scope describes the saving that came from producing two or more outputs at less cost than producing each output individually, even though using the same resources and technology. Scope means saving, so it's like saving a good and producing another related good. In short, imagine that it's cheaper for two products to share the same resource inputs. The example of this, the Starbucks, they already set up to boil purified water for its hot coffee beverage. Thus, it reaps economies of scope and it offers tea in addition to coffee. As a result, Starbucks lowered its cost structure by sharing its production assets over multiple outputs while increasing its menu and thus its differentiated appeal. Customization. Customization allows VM to go beyond merely adding a differentiating features to tailoring products and services for specific customers. Customization from the word itself, customize, so that it's like adding some features or making a new one for a specific customer. That's what they want. For example, Toyota was the first to introduce lean manufacturing, allowing it to mass customize vehicles and produce higher quality at a lower per unit cost. Custom is called in short made to order with a low unit cost. It is a strategy that focuses on a different customers. Innovation is a frequently required to resolve existing trade-offs when companies pursue an integration strategy. Innovation, it is a new idea or a new method. It is a producing a new product in a different method. By using an innovation in integration strategy is a hard way of processes for a company. The example of this, the IKEA or the international furniture retailer, they use innovation at the same time the integration. They have a difficult part making new product because it is the hard to produce a new products in a low unit cost. However, they're able to pursue an integration strategy, leveraging innovation to increase the perceived value of its product while simultaneously lowering its cost. Structure, culture, and routines. The challenge that managers face is to structure the organization so that they both control cost and allow for creativity that can lay the basis for the differentiation. Structure, culture, and routine. In these firms, it is hard for a manager in pursuing an integration strategy. It is a critical and struggle for the manager. They both control cost and allow for creativity that can lay the basis for differentiation. Doing the two together is hard to accomplish. Achieving a low cost position requires an organizational structure so that if the manager really wants to succeed in this, by using the integration, they need to use the ambidextrous organization. It is the managers able to balance structures, skills of employees, and cultures in the different activities and trade-off situation. And manager handle or balance the one exploitation means for the present or current competition and exploration refers to the future competition. Integration strategy gone bad. Stuck in the middle. Many firms that attempt to pursue an integration strategy fail because they end up being stuck in the middle. They succeed at neither or differentiation nor a cost leadership strategy. In a world of strategic trade-offs, increasing value and lowering cost have opposite effects. Improved product features, customer services, and customization all result in higher costs while offering a no-frills product reduced perceived value. If by using an integration strategy that combines the differentiation and cost leadership, it will end up stuck in the middle because if the two different strategic types will combine and they are similar or distinct, it is hard for a company so that by using this they need or require having a trade-offs. So if the business end up stuck in the middle, they must choose between differentiator or cost leadership. This example of this scenario, why they end up being stuck in the middle by trying combining the differentiator and cost leader. The JetBlue, owned by David Neilman. He used integration strategy to win against SWA, the airline company, by using the two different strategic positions. He offers many features and customers on his airline. However, he did not maintain his competitive advantage and the result having a lower performance against his competitors. And the Jack Penny department store also experienced the stuck in the middle by using the integration strategy under in Mr. Johnson. Jack Penny was a cost leadership strategy, but Mr. Johnson tried to change the company's strategy to integration. Mr. Johnson focused some high-value quality products like Levi's, Izod, and Liz Claiborne, and types of goods such as home goods featuring Martha Stewart products within each store, and he removed the old approach of offering special discounts. He reduced the prices of goods so that the Jack Penny began competing against Target, Nordstrom. However, Mr. Johnson don't succeed about this strategy. He end up stuck in the middle. The sales become decreased. Mr. Johnson focused on capital market, not on how to attract and satisfy the customers, and his strategy ended up being compete with the old stores, and Mr. Johnson was fired because of what happened. So that using an integration strategy is a difficult strategy for all entrepreneurs because there's a chance the strategy will end badly, or if they do not maintain their competitive advantage, they need a clear and new strategy by using this to satisfy the customers.
The dynamics of competitive positioning. Strategic stances, on the other hand, are not static. They can and must evolve as the environment changes. Manager must therefore comprehend the dynamics of competitive positioning, or how strategy shapes a company's position over him. At a particular point in line, reaching and productivity frontier enhances the possibility of gaining a competitive edge. Being behind the production curve, on the other hand, puts you at a competitive disadvantage. However, changes in the industry environment allow companies to carve out more valued positions and turn poor performance into a competitive advantage. Similarly, when sections evolve, once leading enterprises with important positions, also the productivity frontier by left behind. Guys, to know more about the concept, we will demonstrate this table. Computer hardware has always been a fiercely competitive market. The industry, on the other hand, has been in decline. In recent years, there has been significant reduction in sales. Consumers buy tablet computers or smartphones with larger screens to use for mobile computing rather than personal computers such as laptops or desktops, which contributes to the decline in demand. We visualize the changing competing postures in Apple, Dell, and Lenovo through time to highlight the dynamics of competitive position. These are the PC industry primary competitors, with a combined market share of almost $500 million. The company that wants the integration strategy stakes out a position in the heart of the best practice frontier by combining both cost leadership and differentiation. The productive frontier in 2010 is depicted by the dotted line. It denotes a group of the most adventurous strategic position a company may hold on a productivity frontier at the moment. Apple has carved out a solid strategic position as a differentiator. At the time, its business level differentiation approach was in best class. Apple transformed a commodity in a differentiated product by combining great hardware and software integration capabilities with excellent marketing. Consumers were willing to pay a higher amount for a better user experience. Apple's successful serial breakthrough in mobile devices such as iPad, iPhone, and iPad, along with the iTunes Store, boosted demand for Mac since users desired a single certain point to handle all of their mobile devices and information. Apple was able to reach the productivity frontier because of its well thought out and well executed strategy. Lenovo had carved out the clearest strategic profile by 2013. It followed through on its strategy decision to focus on the higher end of the market by producing a high-performance laptops and desktops. Lenovo has risen to the forefront of productivity, establishing itself as a distinct differentiator. During this time, PC demand was in a pre-collapse and all competitors except Lenovo lost considerable market share. Lenovo was the only PC manufacturer whose demand remained stable despite the industry double-digit decline. Lenovo has a 40% market share in high-end PCs that run the Windows operating system. Lenovo gained a competitive edge as a result of its decision to carve out a clear strategic profile through a well-crafted and implemented differentiation strategy. The illustration just wants us to learn more about competitive position and dynamics, which is a marketing strategy that relates to how a marketing team can separate a brand from its competitors. The company's position is determined by how its goods and services compare to the value of similar goods and services on the market.